It's 1 p.m. and we are ready to get started. Let's get started. Thank you for joining us today for DTE's third public open house on our updated Clean Vision Plan. My name is Dan and I will be moderating today's event. I want to go over a few things before we get started. Today's presentation, as well as the question and answer session, will be recorded. We will post the recording on our website at dtecleanenergy.com. We will also have instructions at the end of today's open house on ways you can provide comments and recommendations for our Clean Vision Plan. Questions or comments can be submitted anytime during today's event by using the Q&A function on the top right side of your screen. We will queue up audience questions and comments after the presentation is complete. We will have several subject matter experts on hand to help answer questions. In instances where the appropriate expert is not present, we will respond by an email or by updating the FAQ on our website to your question. Please make sure to include your name in your question. We also want to let you know that there will be a 20-second delay, which is standard for Microsoft Live team events. We will now go over some tips for navigating our Clean Vision website and for participating in today's Microsoft Live event. On January 18th, we hosted the first public open house, and on February 22nd, we hosted our second open house. The recordings, presentations, and transcripts can be found at dtecleanenergy.com in the Clean Vision Plan section of the website. On the right-hand side, you will see an area called Open House. This is where we will be posting the content for all public open houses after they occur. Let's now talk about a few helpful tips for today's meeting. To turn on closed captioning, look to the lower right-hand corner of the Teams screen for a button marked CC. Check the button on and off for captions. To ask a question, you can click on the thought bubble with the question mark on the top right-hand corner of your screen. That's it for housekeeping. Let's move on to the agenda. For today's agenda, we're going to provide a brief recap of the first open house and review the survey feedback. Then our two presentations today will focus on customer programs. First, we will hear from DTE customer programs from our energy waste reduction and demand response teams. Then you will have a chance to hear more about renewables and our My Green Power program, which is a voluntary renewable energy program where customers can subscribe up to 100% of their electricity to mission-based renewable energy. We will then conclude the open house with a live question and answer session. As a reminder, we will be recording one additional virtual meeting on April 19th. I will now introduce today's open house panelists. Today we will hear from Joyce Leslie, who is the Director of Business Planning and Development at DTE Electric. Kevin Bilyeu is Manager of Energy Waste Reduction. Keegan Farrell is our Manager of Demand Response. And finally, Knox Cameron is our Manager of Renewable Energy Sales. We will also be joined today by Laura Mickelin, the IRP Manager, and Jill Wilmot, Director of Corporate Communications, to answer any questions that may come up. I will now hand it over to Joyce to help us get started with our presentations.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks, Dan. We appreciate you attending this third session of DTE's Clean Vision Open House. My name is Joyce Leslie. I'm the Director of Business Planning and Development. So my teams focus on long-term generation strategy, which includes the Integrated Resource Plan. I'm looking forward to today's meeting. So for those of you that have joined us, you will hear a quick recap of DTE Electric's carbon emission targets, and I'll briefly talk about what an Integrated Resource Plan, or IRP, is. Then I'll show the results from a survey we did at the first public open house that helped inform the content for today's meeting. So DTE believes that climate change is one of the defining public policy issues of our time, and we're committed to getting as clean as we can, as fast as we can, while taking reliability and affordability into account. We were one of the first utilities in 2017 to announce carbon reduction targets, and since then we've updated those targets 3 times. As you can see on page 8, DTE Electric's net zero goal includes reducing carbon emissions 50% by 2028, 80% by 2040, and ultimately net zero by 2050. We have a clear line of sight to that target of 80% by 2040. So our Clean Vision Plan includes our investment in state-of-the-art natural gas generation and continuing to expand our renewables while retiring coal plants, promoting energy efficiency and demand response to reduce emissions. We're going to talk a little bit more about demand response and energy efficiency today. We're also upgrading our electric distribution infrastructure to support clean energy now and be ready for emerging technologies in the decades to come. Finally, we're offering our customers affordable ways to go even further through voluntary clean energy programs like My Green Power. Again, you're going to hear more about this in today's presentation. While we don't have a fully vetted pathway to net zero defined today, we are starting to think about what the planning processes look like and what needs to happen to get us there. So things like advancing new and emerging technologies and continuing to prioritize affordability and reliability as we move towards a net zero carbon future, recognizing that transitioning in a reliable and affordable manner should be thoughtful and deliberate. So what is an IRP? At our first public open house, we discussed in detail what an integrated resource plan is. So today I'm just going to touch on a couple highlights. An IRP is a regulatory filing that's made to the state of Michigan, so more specifically the Michigan Public Service Commission, or the MPSC. It outlines our utilities generation plan for how it intends to provide energy to its customers over the next 5, 10, and 15 years. Also talks about how the utility intends to meet its customer needs reliably and cost effectively. Now, because there's so many different ways for us to meet these needs, the IRP is the most comprehensive process that utilities have to see how energy efficiency, along with resources like wind, storage, solar, demand response, or other resources are needed, and when that utility plans to retire their coal plants all in one place. Now, utilities are required to file an IRP at least every 5 years through the Michigan Public Service Commission. We are filing ours in October of this year. So now I'm going to talk about the survey results that helped us determine what our topics were going to be. So in January, we polled the audience for feedback on what areas of interest around the Clean Vision Plan do you want to hear more about in future meetings. So as you can see on page 10, here are the results of that survey. So in the box on the left, the green box, are some of the areas with the highest responses. So based on this feedback, we talked about renewables and emerging technology at the open house last month. If you're interested in hearing more about these, you can go to the website and watch the recordings. We also have a really cool video tour of the solar and wind sites, and we have these great 2-page documents that provide overviews of some of the emerging technology. Today, though, we're going to be highlighting demand-side management programs. Demand-side management programs. These are programs like energy efficiency or demand response that are designed to encourage customers to modify their energy usage and the pattern of that usage, as well as the My Green Power program, which is our voluntary renewable program. So these programs will be part of our Clean Vision Plan. In April's meeting, we'll be discussing coal plant retirements and transitions, including our Retire with Pride commitment. So as a reminder, PRIDE stands for people, respect, integrity, dignity, and engagement. We're also going to be discussing grid modernization and reliability. So we'll provide this information again at the end of the presentation. So you'll have those dates and topics at that time. So today, though, we're going to focus on customer programs that are important to the Clean Vision planning processes. Those are our customer demand-side management programs and our voluntary renewable program, My Green Power. Can you move to the next page, please? Thank you. So in the IRP we filed in 2019, we incorporated higher levels of energy efficiency. They were increased through a step change from 1.5% in 2019 to 2% in 2021. This is double the state requirement at the time of 1%. And energy efficiency, or you'll sometimes hear it called energy waste reduction, is considered a reduction from customer demand needs. We also included demand response programs and the renewables that support the My Green Power program as supply resources to help meet that customer demand. So today we have Kevin Bilyeu, the manager of our energy waste reduction at DTE, to present an overview of those programs, followed by Keegan Farrell, who's the manager of demand response. Keegan will provide an overview of some of our demand response programs. DTE's energy efficiency and demand response programs, as I mentioned, are designed to encourage customers to modify their energy usage. Then we'll hand it over to Knox Cameron, who will highlight DTE's voluntary renewable program, My Green Power. So I'm going to hand it over to Kevin.
Thank you, Joyce, and good afternoon. I'm Kevin Bilyeu, Manager of Energy Waste Reduction Strategy here at DTE, and excited I get to talk about the work DTE is doing with demand-side resources. And when we talk about demand-side resources, what we're referring to are the tools we provide to customers to help the environment, reduce usage, and help lower your bill. Today, we're going to focus on two demand-side resources, energy waste reduction and demand response. And for the next few minutes, I'm going to discuss energy waste reduction, also known as energy efficiency, where you may hear me refer to it as EWR throughout this presentation. And then I'm going to hand it off to Keegan, who's going to talk about demand response. So first off, what is energy waste reduction? And simply put, it means using less energy to get the same job done. And there are a lot of products and buildings that use more energy than what they actually need. And through inefficiencies, they create waste. And it's our job in EWR to reduce that energy waste and in the process, lower bills and reduce carbon emissions. And there's lots of examples of EWR that you can find almost anywhere that energy is used. There's an opportunity to improve efficiency. And some products like LEDs and HVAC systems simply use less energy to produce the same amount of comfort. Whereas other products don't use energy directly, but they improve the overall efficiency and comfort of a building, such as insulation and windows. And by using energy more efficiently, we can help reduce the emission of greenhouse gases, help protect the environment and our health. Also, by lowering energy use, you can reduce your bills, making it more affordable. Go to the next slide. So since 2009, DT has worked hard to develop a portfolio of programs that provide customers with best-in-class opportunities to reduce usage. And since then, customers have participated over 5.7 million times in our electric programs. We've also increased our savings target since 2009 to now over 900 gigawatt hours per year, or roughly 2% of our electric sales. And to achieve these savings, DT has over 25 programs, which is one of the largest varieties of program offerings in the country. And that is to ensure that customers have an opportunity to participate based on their unique situation. DT has increased the investment in its income qualified programs to $48 million per year, which will go into more detail in a few slides. And what's more is 90% of every dollar invested in DTE's EWR programs are spent within Michigan, 65% with minority and women-owned businesses. And the last thing I'm going to mention on this slide is that operating these programs since 2009 has led to some big carbon emission reduction, equivalent to the energy use from over 80,000 homes per year, or 146,000 cars driven in a year. Next slide, thank you. So what is EWR's role in an integrated resource plan? So energy waste reduction is a load modifying resource, and that means that savings from EWR programs reduce or offset the energy otherwise provided by a supply side resource such as a power plant. And the image on this slide provides an example of EWR's impact on peak demand. And you see the area in the light blue shade at the top of the chart. That represents the energy that would otherwise have to be produced by a supply side resource if not for EWR. And oftentimes energy waste reduction can be a low cost alternative to these supply side resources. So as I mentioned, DTE offers a wide variety of programs to ensure customers have access to different pathways on their energy efficiency journey. But please note, these are just some of our more popular programs, not a complete list. The best place to go to learn more about all of our programs is dteenergy.com/save energy, which there's a link to included in a later slide. There you'll find ways to get started, different rebates and offers, tips, and different how-to videos. And if you're looking for a good way to get started, our home energy consultation program provides free consultations and the installation of free products such as LEDs, shower heads, pipe wrap, thermostats. And it also includes a personalized home energy profile to help identify other opportunities. And once you're ready to continue your journey, DTE offers rebates on a large variety of equipment, such as HVAC systems, weatherization products, and water heaters. We can help you find a contractor and also help select the right products for your home. We also provide rebates on Energy Star appliances, or if you have an old inefficient appliance that is still working, like a refrigerator or freezer, DTE will recycle it, provide you with a rebate check at the time we pick up your appliance. An important element of DTE's energy waste reduction program includes income qualified programs, which these programs pay 100% of the costs, including the full cost of the equipment and the labor to install the equipment. It also enables customers to participate in energy efficiency that otherwise may not be able to do so. DTE's investment in this area has nearly quadrupled from $11.8 million in 2017 to $48 million in 2022. And if you're looking at this chart, the chart on the slide, you may be asking yourself, why is the spend relatively flat in those middle years? And that is because there was a legislative cap on how much we could spend on EWR programs up until 2017, which was when that spend cap was eventually removed. Since then, DTE has continued to evolve income qualified programs to target equipment that has a deeper impact for customers such as air sealing, insulation, and HVAC systems. DTE has increased its business programs in recent years as well to help both small and large businesses. This slide again is not a comprehensive list of all of our business programs, but includes 5 high-level categories of our different offerings. You can find a complete list at dtenergy.com/save now. And again, there's a link to at the end of this presentation. But going over the categories on this slide, first is our energy assessment programs, which include no-cost consultations similar to our home energy consultation program that I discussed earlier. It identifies ways to save energy and includes the installation of free equipment. DTE also provides free technical support for businesses interested in developing a strategic energy plan. DTE offers midstream programs, which connects businesses with participating distributors to receive instant discounts on equipment. And it really simplifies the process for the customer by requiring no paperwork for them. Our operational programs focus on optimizing equipment rather than replacing equipment, and it starts with a free study of your building and processes. Small business programs offer education for small business owners on energy efficiency, and also provides a hands-on approach by guiding customers through the energy efficiency process. And last is our downstream programs, which provide rebates for a large catalog of prescriptive equipment, as well as rebates for equipment that may be either less common or more complex than what is offered in our prescriptive catalog. So with that, I'm going to hand it off to Keegan, who's going to discuss DTE's demand response programs.
Thank you, Kevin. My name is Keegan Farrell, and I'm the manager here of demand response at DTE. A lot of you are probably wondering what the term demand response, which is commonly referred to as DR, means, or what the purpose of DR actually is. Why would a utility incentivize customers to decrease their energy consumption or even stop it completely during certain periods? Oftentimes, you might hear the term interruptible customer. This is just another term that is used when discussing customers who take part in the demand response program, but usually applies to commercial and industrial customers. DR events refer to the time periods when the company calls on demand response to relieve stress on the grid during peak periods or periods of high demand. I just realized I forgot to turn my camera. Sorry about that. When a period of high demand. DR events do not occur every day. When a DR event is called, it is typically for a short period of time. This type of demand response is considered a dispatchable resource. Time of use rates are a form of demand response as well, and many of you have probably heard the term. However, time of use rates are designed to change a customer's behavior every day and don't have a DR event associated with them. TOU rates also provide value to the company by moving customers' energy use away from on-peak periods. This is done by having different rates at different times of the day. time of use rates are considered a non-dispatchable resource. When DR events are called for dispatchable resources, the programs are designed to reduce the enrolled customers' usage at that specific time. The reduction in energy consumption as a result of demand response program provide value to both utility and the customer through lower capacity costs. All customers benefit from robust demand response portfolio, even if they do not participate in a DR program, as the need for additional generation during high demand periods is reduced, which lowers the cost of energy for all customers. Customers who choose to participate in demand response programs are incentivized to do so. In addition to receiving the benefit that all customers receive from demand response, participating customers are also incentivized by receiving gift cards, raffles, or discounted rates, depending on what type of customer they are or what program they are enrolled in. In addition, demand response can help reduce the emission of greenhouse gases by avoiding the production of high-cost energy, protecting our health and our environment. DTE's DR portfolio ranks very competitively against our peers in terms of potential peak demand savings, as reported by the Energy Information Administration, or EIA. In 2020, DTE's portfolio of programs had 774 megawatts of potential peak demand savings, which ranked 8th in the nation and 1st in Michigan. 71% of these megawatts came from our industrial customers, while residential customers made up 25%. Commercial customers make up our smallest sector at 4%. The portfolio grew in size from 2019, when DTE had 659 megawatts of potential peak demand savings. In 2019, DTE was ranked 10th in the country, so our ranking moved up 2 spots in 2020. It's important to note, when I say 774 megawatts, this amount of demand response isn't available every day. The amount of demand response available every day, even every hour, varies depending on operational changes, weather, and other variables. 774 megawatts is simply the peak optimal hour of demand response. The 2021 rankings will not be released until the fall of this year, but we expect to remain near the top of our utility peers. So what demand response programs make up DTE's portfolio? Like I said previously, DTE has a robust portfolio of demand response programs that customers from every size can participate in. Cool Current, commonly referred to as interruptible air conditioning or IAC, is a program for residential and commercial customers. In this program, customers receive a discounted rate for all air conditioning or heat pump usage in exchange for a direct load control being installed on the customer's home. The direct load control allows DTE to cycle the air conditioner or heat pump unit in 15-minute increments during DR events. Another popular program is the Smart Savers program, or Bring Your Own Device. In this program, customers who already have a programmable connected Wi-Fi enabled thermostat, such as a Nest or an Ecobee, installed in their home can enroll the thermostat in this program. The company will send customers a gift card at the end of every cooling season for their enrollment. During DR events, the company raises the set point on the thermostat anywhere from 2 to 4 degrees. The Smart Currents program is unique as it is a dispatchable DR program as well as a non-dispatchable DR program. In the Smart Currents program, DTE provides the customers with an Ecobee 3 Lite thermostat, which is a programmable connected Wi-Fi enabled thermostat. This allows DTE to adjust the thermostat during the DR event. In this program, the participating customers also go in our dynamic peak pricing rate, which is a time of use rate the company offers. On the industrial side, customers get a rate break for participating on an interruptible tariff. These tariffs allow the company to communicate to the customer that there's a demand response event. Usually an energy manager will take action to reduce the energy consumption down to a predefined level or stop operations completely. In addition to the programs listed here, DTE also has a few time of use rates that customers can take their elective service under if they choose to do so, and they meet the necessary eligibility requirements if applicable. Let's take a look at a demand response event. When a DR event is called, participating customers will receive a notification which is dependent on the program the customer is enrolled in, alerting them of the event. The company attempts to notify DR customers at least an hour before the event is scheduled to begin. The length of the event isn't always known at the time, but usually events only last a short period of time. In this illustrative example, the green line represents the customer's load on the day the event is called. The bluish gray box highlights the event period which in this case begins at 3 o'clock and ends at 7 o'clock, with normal operations being fully resumed at 8 o'clock. The red line is a normal customer load. The difference between the red line and the green line shows the amount of energy and demand that is saved during the event period. In this example, it looks like the customer was able to reduce their load in the first hour of the event by nearly half of their normal use. Again, the change in energy consumption in this example is due to a DR event being called and not a time of use rate. Once the event concludes, DR customers can return to normal operations, whether that be thermostat returning to the pre-event set temperature or manufacturing operations resume. To learn more about energy waste reduction and demand response, go to the DTE Clean Energy website. To learn about specific EWR offerings, visit the dteenergy.com/save-energy or dteenergy.com/save-now. For demand response, visit dteenergy.com and click on pricing options. A listing of programs will be available. Find the right program that fits your lifestyle and enroll today. Now I will turn it over to Knox Cameron to speak about My Green Power.
Thank you, Keegan. Hello, everyone. My name is Knox Cameron, Manager of Renewable Energy Sales at DTE Electric. Today, I will provide an overview of DTE's voluntary renewable energy program. It's called My Green Power. At the second public open house, you heard that DTE Electric is Michigan's largest investor and producer of renewable energy. Since 2009, we have driven investments of $3 billion in renewable energy infrastructure and will invest or drive investment of another additional $2.8 billion over the next few years. And this is all in Michigan, I might add. My Green Power offers DTE Electric customers a simple and affordable renewable energy program that supports DTE Energy's wind and solar projects and help to increase these particular resources within the state of Michigan. When customers participate in My Green Power, they're playing an active role in helping DTE reduce carbon emissions and achieve our net zero goal. Next slide, please. 15% of the energy that DTE Electric customers receive is attributed to renewable sources. By signing up for My Green Power, customers can credit even more of their electricity use to wind and solar. My Green Power is available to all of DTE Electric customers, everyone from homeowners, renters, and businesses to large industrial customers alike. The program offers a simple and affordable way to reduce their carbon footprint. As the program grows, DTE can further support the state's clean energy economy, adding more renewable energy resources and clean energy jobs in Michigan, and ultimately creating a cleaner Michigan for all of us. To illustrate this, on an annual basis, My Green Power customers have enrolled approximately 1.9 million megawatt hours of clean energy into the program, avoiding roughly 1.5 million tons of carbon dioxide emissions, or the greenhouse gas emissions for more than almost 293,000 passenger cars. Pretty impressive stuff. Next slide, please. Thank you. To date, more than 50,000 DTE customers have signed up for My Green Power. Our customers love the program so much because of its simplicity, ease of use, flexibility, and affordability in terms of participation. It takes just a few minutes to sign up. You can do so right on our website or with a quick phone call. The program is customizable to allow customers to choose their participation level that ultimately works best for them. The program is more flexible. Residential customers have no long-term commitments, or they can cancel at any point within their respective billing cycle. And business customers themselves also have flexible contractual options. Finally, Our customers also appreciate being able to support wind and solar projects without having to make costly investments to their homes and businesses. Next slide, please. Thank you. So here's a snapshot of the great work that has been done across all of our respective customer segments. Today in the residential customer segment space, we have enrolled over 50,000 customers, which is quite impressive. And interesting note, the program has doubled its year-to-date program enrollments for 3 consecutive years. The program is deployed across a variety of channels to engage our residential customers. We deploy digital marketing strategies, direct-to-customer engagements, as well as leveraging social media to get the word out to our existing customers. To date, we continue to do well in the residential space with almost 5,000 customers enrolled in the program through the month of March. Similarly, in the small business space, we have done quite well. The program has also doubled for 3 consecutive years, and we have really done a great job of focusing our efforts in this particular space. As we know, small, medium business customers are typically hard to reach, and so our messaging has been catered to that respective customer class. And in our large business space, to date, we have 35 cumulative enrollments. You're seeing a small snapshot of the large business customers who we've been engaged with throughout the years of the program. And as you can see, there's a variety of customer types in the large business space. Everything from our auto suppliers, schools, and a host of tier 1 and tier 2 auto suppliers, as we're seeing high engagements across those respective sectors. Slide 5, please. Thank you. This slide shows the results of research we conducted with customers who've enrolled in our program to learn more about why it is that they want to participate. As you can see, the reasons vary between customer groups. Residential and small business customers really like the program because it helps to protect the environment. It's cost-effective and simple. And these customers also realize that their participation helps to create a better Michigan by preserving the environment, creating jobs, and business opportunities. For our large business customers, My Green Power is easy, it's flexible, and a simple way for these large businesses to demonstrate industry leadership and be recognized by their peer group, employees, investors, and other stakeholders alike. And so across these various sectors, whether it's the residential and small medium business space where customers want to impact the environment, address their needs for the environment in a cost-effective and simple way, and then ultimately just create a better world. And so that is what we're seeing across our residents and small businesses. While our large business segment really wants to demonstrate industry leadership, they want to be able to address their own carbon emission goals in a flexible way, while also then helping their own supply chain network demonstrate industry leadership across this particular space. And so that is my overview of the My Green Power program. I will turn it back to Joyce.
All right, thanks, Knox. So I want to highlight that our customer programs, your participation and the impact of that participation matters, and it's part of our Clean Vision Plan. You may be wondering how. In the integrated resource planning process, utilities look at customer needs today and in the future, and then look at the existing supply and alternative generation to meet those needs. So energy waste reduction is considered a reduction from customer demand. So as Kevin mentioned, by using energy more efficiently, you help reduce customer demand. Lower customer demand means less supply that's needed. So on the supply side, we also include demand response programs and the renewables that support the My Green Power program as supply resources to meet that demand. So how can you learn more and what can you do? You can go to dtecleanenergy.com and join the journey, which is the section in green, to learn more about these programs. Later this week, we'll also have 2 short videos on energy efficiency that you can watch to learn more. So now I'm going to hand it back to Dan to wrap up the presentation portion of the meeting and get ready for question and answers. Dan?
Thank you, Joyce. As a reminder, today's presentations on customer demand side management and My Green Power programs can be found on our website, as well as future meeting information at dtenergycleanenergy.com. We want to preview our April open house meeting as well before we transition to the live question and answer session. On April 19th, we will have a discussion on coal plant retirements and transitions, specifically our Retire with Pride initiative. You will also hear from our distribution operations team about grid modernization efforts and overall reliability. With that, we will now begin the live Q&A. First question, does the D5 water heating service rate available for heat pump water heater / electric water heaters? Based on the rate card, it says it is available for customers who use electric water heater for sanitary purpose. Keegan, I believe this one could be for you.
Thanks, Dan. At this time, the D5 interruptible water heating rate is only available for sanitary purposes as what is defined by the company's rate book.
Great. Thank you for that, Keegan. Just as a reminder that we appreciate your questions and encourage you to submit them via the live chat feature. We have another question here. Joyce, I'm going to turn to you for this one. What does net zero mean?
Thanks, Dan. That's a good question. So net zero means that any carbon emissions created are balanced by the same amount taken out of the atmosphere. So it's achieved, net zero is achieved when the amount of carbon emissions added is no more than the amount taken away.
Great, thank you for that. As a reminder, we'll be posting the recordings and the transcripts on today's public meetings on our website in the coming days. You can also find a FAQ on our website. This is updated based on questions we receive throughout the open house meetings and on our website as well. Great, well, thank you again for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you next month.